Hi kids, today I'm going to continue with the chapter on fractions. Hope that you have finished all the work that was given in fractions so far. So today we're going to learn the next and very important concept in fractions. That is reduce or simplify a fraction to the lowest term. Now what do you mean by reduce a fraction to its lowest term? Let us understand this with the help of a simple example. Consider I have a fraction 15 upon 25. In this fraction, 15 is the numerator, 25 is the denominator. Now can you recollect of any table where both these numbers 15 and 25 appear? Yes, they appear in the 5 times table. We know that 5 multiplied by 3 is 15 and 5 multiplied by 5 is 25. So both the numbers, the numerator and the denominator, that is 15 and 25, appear in the 5 times table. 5 3s are 15, 5 5s are 25. So this fraction I can reduce it using the 5 times table. So I will strike the 15 and I will say 5 3s are 15 and 5 5s are 25. So the numerator is now become 3 and the denominator is become 5. I have reduced it using the 5 times table because both 15 and 25 are multiples of 5. So now I have the fraction in the form 3 upon 5. Now can you think of any other table where 3 and 5 both appear? No. There is no table in which 3 and 5 will appear as multiples. So I cannot reduce it any further. So we say 3 upon 5 is this fraction 15 upon 25 in its lowest form. So this is a reduced or simplified fraction that I have got. Let us take another example. Let us take another example, 6 upon 12. The numerator is 6, the denominator is 12. In which table have you seen 6 and 12 together? Right, in the 6 times table. So we know 6 ones are 6 and 6 twos are 12. So I will make use of the 6 times table. 6 ones is 6, 6 twos is 12. So the fraction is reduced to 1 upon 2. Can you think of any other table where 1 and 2 will appear together? No. Please remember here you cannot make use of the one-time table to reduce because that will give you the same number back. So besides the one-time table, use any other table to reduce the numerator and denominator. So I have used the 6 times table, I got 1 upon 2. I cannot reduce it any further, so this is in the lowest form. Now the same question you could have also solved using any other table as well. Like 6 and 12 also appear in the 2 times table. We know that 2 3s are 6 and 2 6 are 12. So I could also make use of the 2 times table and I could do this as 2 3s are 6 and 2 6 are 12. The numerator would become 3, the denominator would become 6. Now if you look here, this can be further reduced because 3 and 6 also appear in a certain table. It is the table of 3. 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are 6. So I would have made use of the 3 time table as well. So I will say 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are 6. So I got 1 upon 2. I cannot reduce it anything beyond. So this is the answer in the lowest form. So here I have done the reducing in one step by using the 6 times table straight away. Here I used the 2 times table first and then again I reduced it further using the 3 times table. So in either cases the answer is same. So you can use any table to reduce a fraction to a lower term. So this is what we call reducing fractions. Okay. So now the concept of reducing a fraction is clear to us. Now let us go back to our exercise 4a. Question 8. Now this concept I will be using in this sum. Now question 8 says write an equivalent fraction of. I will take a similar example. I won't solve this sum which is given here. This you all can attempt. I will solve a similar one. 6 upon 9 with numerator 10. Okay, the original fraction that is given to us is 6 upon 9. Now they want a new equivalent fraction who should have a numerator of 10. So I have 6 upon 9, the original one, and I want the numerator to become 10. And I have to find the denominator as well because I need an equivalent fraction. Now if you look here, the numerator is 6 and is now changing to 10. Can 6 multiplied by any number give us 10? No, it will not give us. Similarly, even if I try division, can I divide 10 by any number to get 6? No, it is not going to happen by multiplying the fraction or dividing the fraction. So what do we do here? Now here we have to follow the reducing step. This is a fraction 6 upon 9 and if you notice it can be reduced. 6 and 9 are both multiples of 3. So I will use the 3 times table to reduce it. So 3 2's are 6 and 3 3's are 9. So this fraction which was 6 upon 9, when I reduced it became 2 upon 3. I can write is equal to here because now I have reduced to the lowest term. Now can I get the numerator 10 from this fraction? Let us try. 2 upon 3. Please remember children, this 2 upon 3 I have got from my fraction 6 upon 9 after reducing. Now according to my question, I want an equivalent fraction which will have numerator 10. The denominator is unknown, we have to find. Now the sum looks quite simple. From 2, I can achieve 10. How? By multiplying it by 5. 2 5's are 10. So if I multiply 5 in the numerator, I have to multiply 5 in the denominator as well. So I will multiply 5 here. So what will be the denominator which is required? It will be 15. So the answer is 10 upon 15. This is your answer. Let us solve one more example. 18 upon 24. This time we need denominator 28. So 18 upon 24 is a fraction given to me. I want to get an equivalent fraction which will have denominator 28. So 18 upon 24, denominator has to now become 28. I have to get an equivalent fraction. This is equal to sign I am putting because I am getting an equivalent fraction, and you all know that equivalent fractions are basically all equal in value. But now the problem is from 24 I cannot get 28. 24 multiplied by any number will not give me 28, nor 28 divided by any number will give me 24. So again, in such situations, reduce your original fraction. Now here too, 18 and 24. Think of a table where 18 and 24 both will appear. Yes, that is the 6 times table. So 6 3's are 18 and 6 4's are 24. So the fraction which was 18 upon 24 is now become 3 upon 4. So therefore I can say 3 upon 4. From this I have to get the new denominator 28. Now the sum is simple. From 4 I can get 28. 4 multiplied by what will give me 28? Yes, 7. So 4 7's are 28. If I multiply 7 in the denominator, I have to also multiply 7 in the numerator. So 7 will be multiplied in the numerator as well. So what is my missing numerator here? 3 7's are 21. So this is your answer. 21 upon 28. Okay, so in the same way, you all can solve question 8. Similar examples I have done with your same way you'll solve question 8. Now let's go to question number 10. Question 10. What fraction of an hour is 25 minutes? What fraction of an hour is 25 minutes? So we all know that in an hour we have 60 minutes. So since this is in minutes, 25 minutes, hour also has to be converted to minutes. Now we know 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So I want to find out what fraction of 60 minutes will be 25 minutes. So it will be, I'll just reframe the question after converting the hours to minutes. What fraction of 60 minutes is 25 minutes? Now children, remember here to express anything as a fraction, it is very important that the numerator and denominator are in the same units. So here I had hour and here I had minutes, which were different units. So I couldn't express them as a fraction. That is why I converted the hour to minutes. So now I have minutes here, I have minutes here as well. So now since the units are same, I can express it as a fraction. So what fraction of 60 minutes is 25 minutes? So 25 will be the numerator out of 60. So 25 minutes out of 60 minutes. Now here too you can reduce the fraction. If you are very well versed with your phi table, you will see that both are multiples of 5. So 5 5s are 25, 5 12s are 60. Wherever you can reduce a fraction, always reduce the fraction. So the final answer will be 5 upon 12. Now similarly, there is question 11. What fraction of a day is 9 hours? Now look here children, again the units are different. Day and hours. So what you will have to do is first make the units same. So the day will be converted to hours. You can reframe it as what fraction of 24 hours is 9 hours. So your fraction will be 9 upon 24. 9 hours out of 24 hours. 9 and 24 are both multiples of 3 and you can use the 3 table to reduce it. So question 11 I am not solving. I want you all to attempt on your own. So, okay, now so far I explained to you all how to reduce fractions in a simple way just by using common tables. But that method is fine if the number is a small number and simple. Now what do we do if we have big numbers? It won't be possible to keep cancelling using common tables. Now in case of big numbers, let's say you will have to reduce. I'll just give you all an example. If you are getting a question like reduce 114 upon 513. Now if you look here, the numbers are big. It is difficult for me to use a common table and reduce it to the lowest term. It will take a lot of time and I am not assured that it will be 100% correct also. So for such numbers, for bigger numbers, we follow the prime factorization method. Now I hope you remember what is prime factorization because you had already learned it last year. But still I will quickly have a recap of it so that you will get a good idea of what was prime factorization. Before I begin with prime factorization, I want to tell you all the meaning of the word factors. What are factors? Now consider I have a number 16. Okay, and I tell you all write all the factors of 16. How will you write all the factors of 16? And what do you mean by factors of 16? Now what do I mean? I will show you all. 16. Let's see which numbers can divide 16 completely without leaving any remainder. First, I will make use of the digit 1. 1 can divide 16. 1 16s are 16. without leaving any remainder. 2 can divide 16, 2 8s are 16 without leaving any remainder. 4 can divide 16, 4 4s are 16 without leaving any remainder. 8 can divide 16, 8 2s are 16 without leaving a remainder. And there is one more number, that is 16 itself. 16 can divide 16 without leaving any remainder. So these are all the numbers which can divide 16 without leaving a remainder. Now these are called the factors of 16. So which are the factors of 16? 1, 2, 4, 8 and 16. So supposing I am asked to make a list of all the factors of 16, I would say the factors of 16 are 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. Okay, so 16 has altogether 5 factors. There are 5 numbers which can divide it completely without leaving a remainder. Now there are some numbers which have just 2 factors. Now these numbers are called prime numbers. I will show you examples of such numbers. For example, I say write all the factors of 2. Now 2 can be divided either by 1, 1 2s are 2, or it can be divided by 2 itself, 2 1s are 2. So if I want to make a list of factors of 2, you can see there are only 2 factors, 1 and 2. Either it can be divided completely by 1 or it can be divided completely by 2. Similarly, there is 3. 3 also can be divided either by 1 or it can be divided by 3 itself. So the factors of 3 are 1 and 3. Now such numbers which have only 2 factors, 1 and the number itself, 1 and the number itself, such numbers are called prime numbers. Now if you go to page 111 of your textbook, there is an entire list of prime numbers between 1 to 100. Altogether there are 25 prime numbers between 1 to 100. Once again I am telling you, all prime numbers are numbers which have only 2 factors, 1 and the number itself. Now the next method of reducing a fraction which I am going to teach you all, we need to know prime numbers and we need to make use of these prime numbers. So I hope you have understood what are prime numbers. Okay, now let us try reducing big numbers. Reduce to the lowest term. Now this time I am going to use the method of prime factorization. Okay, I'll take an example, 135 by 150. Now what is the method of prime factorization? I will show you here in the rough column. So 135 is my numerator and 150 is the denominator. I have to keep dividing these numbers till I reach 1 using only prime numbers. Now I told you prime numbers are numbers which have just 2 factors. Some examples of prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17 and so on. But the most often used prime numbers for this method is 2, 3, 5. Now here again there is a rule to be followed. Where can I use 2 for dividing? All even numbers, that is numbers which end with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 can be divided by 2. All numbers which end with 0 or 5 can be divided by 5. And there is a rule for dividing by 3 also. I had told you this last year as well. How do we check whether a number is divisible by 3? You add up all the digits and check the total. If the total is a number which is a multiple of 3, that means that number can be divided by 3. Now let us take this example, 135. Now the simple rule I am going to use, whenever a number ends with 0 or 5, you can make use of the 5 times table. So I will make use of the 5 times table to divide 135. So 135 divided by 5. Now here children, if you are well versed with direct division, you can do direct division, or else you can work it out on a rough page. Now what is 135 divided by 5? I cannot take only 1 and do my division, so I will take the number 13. 5 multiplied by what is closest to 30? 5 2s are 10. So 5 2s are 10. But the number is 13. So I have 11, 12, 13. 3 extra. So this 3 will go to the neighboring digit and the neighboring number will now become 35. The 5 multiplied by what will give you 35? 5 7s are 35. Children, you can either do it like this, or if you will find this way confusing, you can practice your division on a rough paper. You can do this. 5 2s are 10, remainder 3, get down 5, 5 7s are 35, 0 0. And you can get the answer 27 like this also. This work you can do on a rough paper. If you are well versed, you can do it like this also. Okay, so now I got 27. Now which prime number will I make use of to divide 27? It is a odd number ending with 7, so I cannot make use of 2. 2 is only meant for even numbers. Let us check if I can make use of 3. Now how do we check for 3? We add the digits and find out what is the sum. So the digits are 2 and 7. If I add 2 and 7, the total is 9. Does 9 come in the 3 times table? Yes, 9 does come in the 3 times table. So I can make use of 3 to divide 27. So 3 9s are 27. 9 again I can make use of 3 table. 3 3s are 9. 3 1s are 3. Please remember children, make use of only prime numbers here. So I have reached 1. This factorization is complete. Let's go to 150. I told you when a number ends with 0 or 5, straight away make use of the 5 times table. So 5, I can't take only 1 and divide, so I'll take 15. 5 3s are 15. The 0 comes down, it becomes 30. Again I'll make use of 5 table. 5 6 are 30. 6 is an even number, so I can make use of 2. 2 3s are 6. 3 1s are 3. Okay, so both the numbers are factorized and I have reached 1 in both the cases. Now, next, what do we need to do? Now, we have to look for things which are common between this and cancel them off. Now, there is a 5 here and there is a 5 here. I have got one pair. So, I will cancel this 5 and I will cancel this 5. So, one pair is out. Let's see if I can make some more pairs. This 3 and this 3. Another pair is out. So once your pairs are out, see what is remaining. Now here I am left with 3 and 3. Multiply these two 3s. 3 3s are 9. So in place of 135, now I have 9. Okay, 3 3s are 9. Now let's see what will come in place of 150. Here I have 5 and 2. Multiply the 5 and 2. The answer will be 10. So in place of 150, I will have 10. So this is my fraction in the reduced form. This method is simple and 100% you will get the correct answer. But make sure to use only prime numbers, strike off pairs, whatever remains, multiply and get your answer. Let us take another example to understand this method. Say I have 20 upon 60. Okay, I will teach you the prime factorization method only. So 20 I will go to factorize and 60 also I am going to factorize. I am going to make use of the 5 table. 5 4s are 20. Then I will make use of 2 since it is an even number. 2 2s are 4. Again even number, so 2 2 1s are 2. Here also I am going to make use of 5 table. 5 12s are 60. Then I will make use of 2. 2 6s are 12. 2 3s are 6. And finally 3 1s are 3. Now let us strike off the pairs. 5 and 5 will be out. 2 and 2 will be out. 2 and 2 will be out. Now, In the numerator part, everything has got striped off. So the number that I am going to put now will be 1. When everything is striped off, 1 will come in its place. And here in the denominator part, I have 3. So the denominator will be, so in the reduced form, 20 upon 60 is 1 upon 3. Okay, so now the exercise that we are going to solve, we are going to strictly stick to prime factorization method. Okay, so now we are going to move to exercise 4b. The first question of exercise 4b says, which of the following are in the simplest form? Now you are given some fractions over there. You have to find out whether it is in the simplest form or no. Let us take some examples. First one is 21 upon 40. Now children, I want you all to get well versed with the prime factorization method. So exercise 4b I am going to solve not by the direct method but by the prime factorization method. So I want to check whether it is in the simplest form or no. So I am going to factorize the numerator and the denominator. I'll make use of 3 7s are 21. 7 is a prime number. 7 1s are 7. Here 5 8s are 40. 2 4s are 8. 2 2s are 4. 2 1s are 2. Numerator is factorized. Denominator is factorized. Now children, can you see there is nothing common here for me to strike off. So what will be the reduced form? 3 7s are 21. And 5 2s are 10, 10 2s are 20, 20 2s are 40. So, the same number which was there in the question is the simplest form. So, this question, the fraction is already in the simplest form. I cannot reduce it at all. So, I will say therefore, it is in the simplest form because it could not be reduced any further. After factorizing, I did not get anything common and the answer remained as it is. So the fraction was already in the simplest form. Okay, now let us take another example, the second sum from your book, 35 upon 49. Let us verify whether this is in the simplest form. I know children, these numbers will look very simple for you all, but please don't reduce them directly. I want you all to use the factorization method and get well versed with it. So let us factorize the numerator and the denominator in the rough column. 35 is a number ending with 5, so I'll make use of the 5 table. 5 7s are 35. 7 is a prime number, so 7 1s are 7. 49, the moment you see 49, please remember the 7 table. 7 7s are 49. 7 is a prime number, 7 1s are 7. Okay, now let's see if we can cancel something if anything is common here. Yes, I can see a 7 here and a 7 here. So I will cancel the pair. Now what is left? In the numerator, I am just left with 5 and in the denominator, I am left with 7. So the reduced numerator will be 5 and the reduced denominator will be 7. So can I say this fraction was in the simplest form? No, it wasn't in the simplest form because I could reduce and this is the simplest form. So I will say therefore it is not in the simplest form. Okay children, I hope it is clear to you all. If the fraction cannot be reduced and you will get the same answer back, that means it is in the simplest form. If you all can reduce and get a simpler answer, that means the original fraction was not in the simplest form. So, I hope you will be able to solve the rest of the sums from exercise 4b in the same manner. And also, I want you all to do exercise 4b, question 2. So, question 1, question 2 both have to be done. Question 2, you all are told reduce each of the fraction to the lowest term. So, in that also, I don't want you all to do directly using tables. I want you all to make use of the prime factorization method. Thank you very much, children. If you have any difficulty, you can always message me on WhatsApp and get your doubts clarified.